Hello, welcome back to episode 7 of the Sports Zone podcast. Today the topics will be I will be doing a scouting report on Paolo Banchero. I will be doing, or I'll be saying my top 3 shooting guards ever. I will be talking about James Harden's struggles, Giannis becoming the all-time Bucks points leader, and talking about how this year's Magic are one of the worst teams ever. Now, Uh, I literally haven't uploaded in I don't even know how long. I think it's been probably 2 to 3 weeks. Here, let me see. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. Now, the reason because is I've just been doing a lot of stuff. Like I was uploading when we were on spring break, and so now we're back to normal school. So yeah, this has these notes have already been done for like 2 weeks, so some of this stuff is outdated. So I'm gonna have to go with the flow. But yeah. Uh, I took I didn't upload for like a week. Then I said I was gonna start uploading, and then I was gone for 2 weeks. So, now it should be going back to normal. So yeah, the play-in just happened. The first round of the play-in, the Pelicans just won. But yeah, so what we're gonna start off with today is scouting report on Paulo Banchero. So, or Paulo Banchero. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Um. There will be more scanning reports in the future, but yeah, this it takes forever to do scanning reports, so I just did him. But yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I think it's Paulo Banchero because I thought it was Banchero, but all the commentators and stuff say it like that, and I've never heard him say his own name. I tried to search it up, like in interviews or something, or I literally searched up Paolo Banchero saying his own name, and it didn't pop up. Apparently, he's never said his name before, so I don't know. I'm gonna just say Paolo Banchero because that's what I heard. But yeah, okay. So if you guys don't know what a scouting report is, basically, I'm gonna tell you a bunch of things about him: his age, his height, his weight, his strengths, his weaknesses, a player comparison, stuff like that. Because basically a draft scouting report, yeah. I mean, yeah. So I watched every single game of his from this last season at Duke. Um, and yeah, it took forever, but okay. So let's just start off. His age, he's 19 years old. His weight, I mean his height, I mean his height, he's 6'10". He's 250 pounds. He has a 7'1" wingspan. His position is power forward. The college he went to is Duke. He was born in Seattle, Washington. His stats from last year: 17.1 points, 7.7 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 1.1 steals, zero point 0.9 blocks per game, 47% from field goal range, 33% from 3, and 73% from the free throw line. Now, let's talk about his strengths first. So, his strengths, he has great handles for his size. I mean, he moves at like a point guard. Like the moves this guy makes at his size are actually crazy. Like I don't know how it's possible. You're 6'10" and moving like you're a guard. Like this guy's the same height as Clint Capella and Jarrett Allen, and he can move like a guard. Yeah. He's also a good shooter for a power forward. He has a really good mid-range, like really good mid-range. Like when I was watching it, I was surprised because dude, he honestly has one of the best mid-ranges I've ever even seen. He's really efficient from there and just can make tough shots from the mid-range area. Yeah, like once he goes into the league, I'm pretty sure he'll be one of the best mid-range shooters in the NBA. He'll probably be like a top 10 because there's a lot of good mid-range shooters. DeMar DeRozan, KD, Kyrie's a good mid-range shooter. More players that I'm just forgetting about right now. As I said, he's very shifty. He seems like a guard, but he's not. Like he can move in a way where most power forwards can't. If you get what I'm saying. He's a good playmaker for his position. I know he only averages 3.2 assists, but he can find the open man on the court when there's one. And he also just always makes the smart pass. He's never gonna put something up when there's like 10 people on him. He's always gonna make the right pass and do the right thing. So, the next thing is he's strong and physical. He's able to finish like through contact well. And at Duke, like he was able to back down players very well. Like he's strong. Like it doesn't look like it, like he's that strong, but he is. Like he's really strong. I was surprised. He also has some really nice footwork, especially in the post. He likes to do that spin move. I see a lot where he spin moves and dunks it, or spin moves and layups. I saw that a lot. I see that he likes to do that. But yeah, he just has really good footwork, honestly. Yeah, he's fast, especially for his position. Um, he is also just like a very good rebounder, and especially offensive rebounder. He gives his teams a lot of second opportunities, and what NBA team doesn't want that? Um, he is also a tough shot maker, like I said. There are some shots where I think there is no way that that's going in, and it does. Like there was a lot of times where I was like, "There's no way," and he makes it. So yeah, so he has a lot of strengths. I just named like 10 strengths. Now weaknesses. He has some. Um, so one of his these are the biggest weaknesses, sweating problem. And you guys are probably gonna be like, who cares if he sweats a lot? Most people do, but no. He his sweating problem at one point was where he was losing 7 pounds every single game he played from sweating so much for like a week or two. Like that's not good. Like that's not healthy. That means teams won't be able to play him that many minutes, or he'll always, or no one's gonna want to draft him because of that. Because why would you want to draft a guy where he's losing 7 pounds every single time he plays? Like that's not even healthy for you. Um, Also another weakness, cramps. During the time he was losing all that weight, the 7 pounds per game, while playing, he was having a lot of cramp issues where he needed to be attended a lot during games and have to be rolled and stretched out during timeouts. Like they would have to call a timeout because they see him cramping. Like there's videos on this. Like it was on like first take I think also. Um Now another weakness. He is not the best defender. He has the tools to be a really good defender, but he gets blown by a lot by guards. But with his size and like his quickness, I can see him becoming a decent good defender, honestly. Um but yeah, those are his weaknesses. Next, the NBA comparison. So, I've been seeing a lot of Chris Webber. Um, I also saw some Blake Griffin, but to me, I haven't seen this, and I think this is really good. Now, after I name him, I know it's gonna be random, but hear me out. So, my NBA comparison for him is Pascal Siakam. Now, when I say NBA comparison, this isn't how good I think he'll be, or what level he'll play to this. No, it's just who he plays like that's in the NBA. Um, Now I see Pascal Siakam in him, honestly, because he has the spin move Siakam always uses in the post. Um, they are both power forwards that can shoot the ball well, that have good handles for their size, and that are good playmakers for their position. Tell me that's not a good comparison. When I thought of that, I was like, this is honestly the best comparison I've seen. And I made it. I haven't seen this anywhere else. Uh, Now, yeah, that's what I see him like. That's what I think he plays like. Oh, Packers signed Sammy Watkins. 1 year deal worth up to $4 million. Now, which team is the best fit? To me, it's the Pistons. I think it would be perfect, and when I say perfect, I mean perfect for Detroit. I think because you already have Cade Cunningham, who looks like he's going to be really good. Really good. Like, probably be an all-star in the next 2, 3 seasons. Um, Now, I think Paolo would be a perfect fit with Cade. Imagine the pick and roll and the pick and pop with those two. It would literally be deadly. Imagine pick and pop, Paulo mid range, pick and roll, Paulo dunk. Imagine. They also need a power forward because Marvin Bagley is not going to be great. We already know he's a bust. And they're most likely going to trade Jeremy Grant, which leaves this position open. And I would just honestly love to see Paolo there because Jeremy Grant, I heard, is going to ask for a lot of money and he wants to be that guy on the team, the number one option. But I'm pretty sure they're going Cade. Um, Jeremy Grant is still underrated. He's still having a good season. He's still averaging like 21, 22 points. And people act like he's complete garbage, but he's not. Um, but yeah, I mean, Marvin Bagley's coming off the bench right now. He's garbage. Well, actually, he's been doing better on the Pistons, but and they're gonna look to trade Jeremy Grant most likely. So that leaves that spot open, and he can play that. Dude, imagine Cade and Paulo. Oh my God! But I'm pretty sure Paulo's gonna go number one, and I think the Magic are gonna get the number one pick. But this is just which team I think is the best fit that has a chance of getting the number one pick. I'm not gonna be like, oh, the Jazz might get him now because I'll have like the 18th, 19th pick. It has to be realistic. Now, do I like Paulo's game? Yes, I really like it. He's a good all-around player. Like he can literally do everything. I really like his shot, and I think he's gonna be a really good NBA player. Like honestly, I have a lot of faith in him. I think he's gonna be the best out of the draft for sure. But yeah, I think he's gonna be really good. Now that was my scouting report on Paolo Banchero. Um, Now the next topic is my top three shooting guards ever. So the first two should be pretty obvious. Now, at number one, you already know who I have. Michael Jordan. His career stats 30.1 points per game, 6.2 rebounds, 5.3 assists. His accolades are 14-time All Star, 10-time scoring champ, 3-time steal champ, 6-time NBA champ, 11-time All NBA, Rookie of the Year, 9-time All Defensive Teams, 3-time All-Star Game MVP, 1-time Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time MVP, 6-time Finals MVP, 75th Anniversary Team, and yeah. Now, I actually want to ask this question real quick. What do you guys think is more important, Finals MVPs or regular season MVPs? That's a hard question because people are automatically probably going to say MVP, but think about it. Your team has to go to the finals. You have to win the finals most of the time. Only Jerry West, I think, won it without winning the finals. And you have to be the best player on your team. So, I don't know. With the MVP, you just have to be pretty much the best player that season. I don't know. That's a hard question. But yeah, those are some crazy accolades. It felt like it took a whole year to read that. Um, we all know how good MJ was. I mean, like, he's the best scorer of all time. Um, one of the best defenders of all time. One of the best mid-range scorers of all time. He has the most scoring titles of all time. He was a good playmaker. People always say he's garbage because LeBron is such a good playmaker, and there's always a debate right there, but he's a good playmaker. He is. Um, what made him so dominant was that he was a two-way player, so no matter what team had the ball, he was always making an impact. Like, let's look at Trae Young. Great offensive player. I mean, really good. But bad defensive player. So he's only impacting when they're on the offensive side, when the Hawks have the ball. But with Jordan, and no, I'm not comparing Trae Young and Jordan, but this is just an example. But with Jordan, he's one of he's literally the best scorer of all time. So if the Bulls have the ball, he's making an impact, and the other team, if they have a ball, he's making an impact because he's such a good defender. Now, Um, he also almost averaged 40 points one season. 40. He averaged 37 that season. He averaged 3.2 steals one year, which is one of the best of all time. He is just so good. And also just the influence he had off the court, man. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna go into deep with these because I mean it's Jordan. I think we all have him number one. Now, at number two, I have Kobe Bryant. His career stats 25 points per game, 5.2 rebounds, 4.7 assists. His accolades, it's going to take a year. 18-time All-Star, 2-time scoring champ, 5-time NBA champ, 5-time, I mean 15-time All-NBA, 12-time All-Defensive, 4-time All-Star Game MVP, 1-time MVP, 2-time Finals MVP, 75th anniversary team. When talking about Kobe, you're literally talking also about one of the best scorers of all time, probably the second best scorer of all time. He averaged 35 points one season. He's also one of the best two-way players of all time because he was also an elite defender. Um, I mean, 12-time all defensive teams, that's a lot. Also, when talking about Kobe, you have to talk about his way of living and also just the influence he had on fans. Like, he motivated people to do stuff when they didn't want to. You know what I'm saying? Like, he motivated people to do what needed to be done. Um, Kobe is literally the hardest worker in NBA history. I don't care what you say. Um, he was always in the gym practicing and was always looking to improve. Like, there's a video where he's like, I wake up at 5 a.m., go to the gym for 3 hours, come back, eat, go to the gym again for 3 hours, come back, shower and eat, and then he'll be like, I'm gonna go, and then he'll go one more time, something like that. Or he'll take like, well, he'll go to the gym for in total 9 hours, but he'll split it up 3 hours, eat, 3 hours shower, like something like that. So yeah, he was literally always in the gym. Um, he would also always say to challenge yourself, and he motivated people to work harder and get better at anything in life. Like when talking about Kobe, it's not just basketball, you know? Like he really just influenced a lot of people. Um, Anyways, back to his basketball life. Kobe just knew how to win. He won 5 championships in his career, which is the 13th most in NBA history. But there's people like Robert Ory above him, which didn't contribute that much, so that's why he's 13th. Like, come on. Or, like, I'm pretty sure the person who played with Bill Russell is just stacked with stuff, but they didn't really earn it. They didn't put any work in it really. Um, Kobe is also just one of the best mid-range shooters of all time. I mean, he's just really a good mid-range shooter. Um, he also had one of the best fadeaway shots of all time, probably the best. Him and Dirk is probably the closest ones. Oh, and Jordan. Um, he was just a really good player, man. Really good. I have him number two. I would love to have him no. I would love to have him number one because he is my favorite player of all time. But you can't put him over Jordan. You just can't. Now, Dwayne Wade is number three. I don't want to hear no Harden or Allen Iverson. Um, Tracy McGrady to me was a three, and he can't really be over Dwayne Wade. Um, so yeah, I don't want to hear James Harden. James Harden's nowhere near Dwayne Wade at all. Dwayne Wade, career stats: 22 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, 5.4 assists. His accolades are 13-time All-Star, 1-time scoring champ, 3-time NBA champ, 18-time All-NBA, 3-time All-Defensive, 1-time Finals MVP, 1-time All-Star Game MVP, 75th anniversary team. Wade was a great scorer. He averaged 30 points one year, led the league in scoring one year. He was also one of the best slashers in the league. He's a great finisher. Um, he's also one of the best shooting guard playmakers of all time. Probably the best shooting guard playmaker of all time. Well, it depends on what you want to have James Harden as. Right now he's playing point guard, but if you want to say in his career he's a shooting guard, then I guess. But he's one of the best, if not the best, number two. Um, he averaged at least 6.5 assists in the season 6 times, and at least 7.5 assists in the season twice. Whenever people talk about Dwayne Wade, I feel like that always gets underrated. He was also a great defender. 3-time defensive team, that's great. He has the most blocks ever by a guard at 885 blocks. That's a lot. 6 seasons, he at least averaged 1 block per game, even though he is a 6'4" shooting guard. Like, dude, there is some centers who don't average a block per game, and he did this for 6 seasons. Now, to put this into perspective, Jonas Valanciunas is 6'11" and has only averaged at least 1 block per game in the season 5 times. Dwayne Wade did it 6 times at 6'4", while Valanciunas is 6'11". Wade was just a definition of an all-around player. Like he could do everything on the court. He could play make, he could score, he could defend. Like, what else do you want? Um, yeah, just good. He was really good. So those are my top three shooting guards of all time. To go over it again, Michael Jordan at one, Kobe Bryant at two, Dwayne Wade at three. Now, the next topic, James Harden struggles. So James Harden has been playing like garbage as of recently, like really bad in his past 16 games. I mean, like really bad. Like ever since March 2nd to the end of the season, he's been averaging 21 points per game. Actually, I think it's 20 now because I averaged these like a week ago, so they're kind of old. Um, he's been averaging 20 points per game on 38% field goal percentage. That is garbage. So bad. And for from March 2nd to this time of year, it's April 14th. It's been like a month and a half. You're not playing good at all. Oh my God. Um the only reason he's had 25 points per game or 20 the only reason he's had 25-point games since then is because of the amount of free throws he shoots. Um, I'm telling you, him and Embiid only score that much because of free throws. Look at some of Embiid's games. He will shoot 9 for 23 and have like 38 points because he'll shoot like 20 free throws. And people will be like, "Oh my God, he's the MVP, MVP." Like, "Oh my God, he is not an MVP." If you're going 9 for 23, that's literally like 38% from the field. And people are finally starting to catch on, and he's still gonna get the MVP. I guarantee you. I guarantee you he's still gonna get it. Ugh. I've been saying this for like 2 months now, and no one notices that. They're overrated, both of them. And Embiid without free throws, 24, 25 points per game, not 30. I guarantee you. Harden's struggles have also just been hurting the team. The 76ers, um, went downhill at the end of the season. Like, they weren't winning that much. Like, at one point in like their last 10 games, they were 6-4. Um, and they were like on the 2-game, 3-game losing streak. No. I mean, Doc Rivers literally blamed James Harden for loss because of how inefficient and bad he played. He said it during the postgame conference. James Harden needs to play better, especially with the playoffs coming soon, because he already isn't a good playoff performer. And he's still throwing turnovers. He's playing like garbage. His efficiency's garbage. These new free throw um, rules are hurting him so bad. Like, you could see he's still foul baiting and they're not calling it. So yeah, you need to step this up, James Harden, if you want to win a championship. Now, the next topic, Giannis becomes the all-time Bucks points leader. He passed Kareem, who was obviously number one on the list before. I'm so glad he did this. Being a Bucks fan, it's nice seeing Giannis break records at such a young age. He's 27 and he's already breaking records. So he's going to even break more records in the next couple seasons. Around the end of the next season, he will pass Kareem as the all-time rebound leader in Bucks history. And also around the All-Star break next season, he will become the all-time assist leader in Bucks history. He's only like 250 away. Actually 270. Once Giannis retires, these records will be shattered. Like it will not even be close. Now after this happened, people are debating whether Giannis is the best Buck of all time. Now, it's really hard to put him over Kareem because we're only, again, we're only talking about Kareem when he was a Buck, not when he was a Laker, not in his whole career, just when he was a Buck, those 6 years. Um, because when you look at it, they both brought a championship to Milwaukee and both won multiple MVPs as a Buck. Giannis has 2 MVPs as a Buck, Kareem won three. Um, that's pretty much the only difference. They have around the same all defensive teams, around the same all star teams, around the same all NBA teams as a Buck. Because when you look at it, now obviously in the future, like in a couple seasons, obviously Giannis will be the best Buck of all time. He could probably do it next season, honestly. But currently, I think they are tied. I can't. I can't put Giannis over yet because you're talking about Kareem. Like this is like a top three, top five player of all time. Uh, but as a Buck, I think they're tied. Honestly, if Giannis wins MVP this year, which he should, but knowing the NBA, they'll give it to Embiid. Like, if you're not gonna give it to Embiid, at least give it to Jokic. I mean, if you're not gonna give it to Giannis, at least give it to Jokic. Like like he deserves it more over Embiid, Jokic. Anyways, if he wins MVP this year, then I put him over Kareem as a buck. But right now, as of April 14th, they're tied. Now, yeah, but it could easily change by next season, honestly, or by the end of the playoffs. um, so the final topic of today is the Magic being one of the worst teams ever. The Magic team is so bad. They are currently, well, they finished the season 22 and 60. Their win percentage was 2.68. Um, and the worst ever is 1 point or 0.177 by the Nuggets. Like, oh my God, their points per game leader only averages 16 points per game. Their 3-point percentage leader is Robin Lopez, the guy that doesn't even shoot threes, at 40%. Jalen Suggs isn't going to be what people thought. Cole Anthony is meh. Jonathan Isaac hasn't played since the bubble. Like, he can be so good. Like, he could be a defensive player of the year if he just stayed healthy. The bubble was literally 2 years ago. Franz Wagner is the only bright side of that team. Like, seriously, like, they are just so bad. They have nothing. Jalen Suggs is going to be, at the best, a role player. And they're not even fun to watch. Like, they're not. Who wants to watch Magic games? Oh my God. Like, they're just such a bad team. Like, if I was Magic fans, I'd be so sad. Like, okay, how do you mess this up? You had two picks in like the top seven, and you miss one of them, and you mess one of them up. I'm pretty sure when the Raptors picked Scotty Barnes, I'm pretty sure, or I think Magic fans were making fun of the Raptors for picking Scotty, but now who's laughing? Scotty can is looking like he's gonna be a one of the best players in the league. Well, Jalen Suggs looking like he's gonna be a role player. Like, yeah, I've been big on Scotty. I was glad they took him, but yeah, I'm pretty sure Magic fans were laughing at the Raptors and their fans because they picked Scotty over Jalen Suggs. But that was the best pick, honestly. Now looking back at it, I'm taking Scotty 2 or 3. But yeah, that will be all for this episode. The fun fact for today is James Harden has never shot over or at 40% from 3 in a season at all. One of the best 3-point shooters of all time has never shot over 40%. The best he ever did was 39%. I mean, he's right there, but yeah, he's never shot over 40%. So that's gonna end the episode. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it.